This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, reviews for the first episode of Ms.Marvel on Disney Plus and Jurassic World Dominion.
Geek boner.
Plus, a new Black Adam trailer. The Joker sequel takes a strange turn. Marvel is making a Thunderbolts movie. Obi-Wan Episode 4 thoughts and more. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, June 13th, 2022.
Oh, hi, I didn't hear you come in. This is Ross Marquand from The Walking Dead, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Now, if somebody could please explain to me what a geek boner is, my life would be complete. Until then, rock on, nation.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Talking, we heard it. We funny, disturb it. We talking, we heard it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hello and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose.
Jock and Nerd.
My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us, a fella who's about the size of a dinosaur turd, but only smells about half as bad. It's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Not the mama. Not the mama.
Oh, that was a great show. That's like
No one knows what I'm talking
that
about.
dinosaur show is better than the whole Jurassic Park franchise.
Well, they did great suits.
The suits were great.
Suitmation.
The ending was traumatic and crazy.
What show is this?
It was called
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs on ABC. Do you remember this? It was people in dinosaur suits.
Yeah, in like fucking practical dinosaur suits, and they like did the whole episode, and they it was like a
Oh, God.
Trippy as fuck.
yeah.
It was so great. And the baby was like the star of the show because he would hit the dad over the head with a frying pan and go, not the mama, and just hit him.
I do somewhat remember this
Oh my!
show.
It was such a great show, and it was so weird that they decided to do a costume dinosaur show on primetime fucking television.
Right, and people watched it. People still know about it.
I think it was like TGIF part of the lineup at one point.
Probably.
And the last episode, Anthony, the asteroid comes and hits the planet, and everybody just dies.
Oh, Jesus
Yes,
Christ.
that's how it ends. It was amazing. I was like, oh my God.
It was true to history.
Yeah, it was like, we got to be true to fact. It was a kid's show, and then they just killed all your characters at the asteroid. It's great. Great. Anyways, speaking of dinosaurs, we have a lot to talk about this week, fellas. Let's dive right in. I'm not even going to play the music. Okay, I'll play it.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
I was going to skip it, but then Anthony started humming it, and then I have to hear it. We got a couple of trailers before we get to first of two reviews of things. Let's start with, they have released the first full trailer to Black Adam, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's DC movie, starring The Rock and a bunch of other people like Sarah Shahi and Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher, Aldous Hodge as Carter Hall Hawkman. Anthony, what'd you think? Are you excited for this? Are you a Black Adam guy? What'd you think? How does this look to you?
Am I a Black Adam guy?
He's neither black nor named Adam. Discuss.
I like Black Adam in the comics. This, I wouldn't say I'm like super aware of his comic book origins and like all his history and what's canon and what he's really like. I've seen some stuff and I like the character. I know he can be kind of an anti-hero. He's one of the arch nemesis of Shazam, but again, can be an anti-hero. And also, I enjoyed his run in Villains United. There was the start of the Secret Six.
He was in that.
Yeah. He had this arrogance about him where he was always floating compared to everyone else, and he was like he's the villain. He was working with other villains, but he was always in the air as if like I'm better than all these people.
That's awesome. That's great.
So as far as the trailer, I mean, it's definitely just a vehicle for The Rock to do a superhero movie. I can imagine it being confusing if you're not a DC Marvel fan and you're just like, oh, another one of these, but with The Rock. Like, I would look at this and go, oh, this is a Marvel film with The Rock, and it's not. It's DC. I mean, Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. That's kind of exciting. Hawkman, I like that actor.
Aldous Hodge. The costume looks pretty
Aldous
dope.
Hodge, yeah. I don't get a good sense of like what the threat is really. It sounds like there's heroes and then an anti-hero. It looks fine. I can't say I'm like super excited though, just because I don't really, unlike Marvel, and we can talk about how played out Marvel is to some people, but at least with Marvel, I know that these are all puzzle pieces to the big story. Whereas DC, I don't know really what they're doing.
Yeah.
And as I said, it just looks like a vehicle for The Rock to be The Rock as a superhero, which is fine, but also, okay, cool.
Why not? No padding on that costume, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
I believe.
he's definitely that big.
Oh, my God. Ruggs, he punches a jet plane, he catches a rocket. What'd you think of this?
I like the music.
The music was kind of dope. It gave me like when Kendrick Lamar did the Black Panther soundtrack.
It's got a cool vibe. It is overshadowed by Dwayne The Rock Johnson's persona. Like, it doesn't, you're like, you really don't care what it is. Like, Black Adam, it doesn't really matter. It's just The Rock flying around being The Rock. I thought that they started him out as like a skinny dude.
Yeah, that's
cool.
what it looks like.
That was interesting.
And then injected him with some Captain America serum or something.
I'm not like shitting on it, and I'm not like super enthused about it. It's just kind of like, okay, like you haven't done anything wrong yet, so we're still on good ground here. So hopefully, they didn't like reveal the bad guy and what that's about yet. So
well, Dr. Fate, I feel like he's the bad guy. Pierce Brosnan.
He's a good guy in the
but
comics.
he is a good guy, isn't he?
Right.
I think it just might be like heroes and anti-heroes, like kind of like colliding until they decide they're on the same side.
I like the line where Hawkman's like, "We're heroes. We don't kill people," and he just goes, "I do." But I'm still kind of seeing The Rock here, right? Not completely seeing Black Adam. That's one thing that, like,
I mean, he was Hercules of all people, and he still was The Rock.
Can he not be The Rock for like a second, just
He's
so he can
always
be
The Rock?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with Ruggs.
I mean, what do you expect him to do? He's The Rock. He's his charisma and persona. Like, it just so like when you go to watch Stallone, he's Stallone in every movie, pretty much. There is a difference between Rocky and Cash from Tango and Cash.
Yeah,
there
and
is
Rambo,
a difference.
right?
Yeah, there's a slight difference. Yeah.
I would say The Rock is closer. Like, Stallone got to the point where he was doing a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
I would say The Rock is closer to Schwarzenegger, whereas that run in the 80s where Schwarzenegger was just doing Schwarzenegger in every movie.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm with you guys too. I'm in between Geek Boner and Floppy Jock right now until they show me more. It looks good. The effects look good. I think it's funny how Adam Smasher's costume, like his mask, looks exactly like Deadpool's mask. They just painted it all one color. I don't know why, but I don't know. He punches. It's like a Top Gun moment. He punches a fighter jet. Was Maverick in that plane? Who knows? Maybe.
It was trying to be like an Iron Man. Remember that?
Oh yeah, when he flew with, but he's just like flying with no costume and no cape, and like there's Egyptian gods involved too. So we'll see how much of that plays into this.
The thing is that we've seen so many of these movies, like all of this stuff is like starting to lose its luster, and it's not even like there's enough of a leap in technology where like all of a sudden it's like on another like. So, for example, like we saw Superman fly in 1978, and then all of a sudden we saw Superman fly in Man of Steel, and there was a huge jump in the way technology. So we got to see a little different version of him breaking the sound barrier and shit like that. We didn't see that before.
Yeah,
but we're really still like not too far away from all that stuff, and nothing's really changed. Like the deep fake technology that they used to make him skinny, that's better. Like, that was the thing I noticed that stood out to me.
That stuff is amazing now. So you think people are just going to come out because it's The Rock mostly?
Yeah.
That's what they're banking
So
on.
The Rock doing a superhero film.
Yeah.
That's the selling point.
Huge.
And maybe potentially they'll do a crossover with Shazam, because Shazam was a runaway or kind of a surprising hit for DC. So
I think you should throw in a cameo or something.
Do you think that like Shazam could even go toe to toe with Black Adam? He just seems so much more badass.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that'd be the fun part. Shazam is such a goofball, and then you got The Rock. I think it'd be fun to see those two on screen, depending on how. Well, we kind of know how The Rock's going to play out. Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
The Rock's going to be The Rock.
Well, we saw what is that Red Notice, where you had an annoying funny guy with The Rock. We kind of saw that unfold.
Yeah, it was bad.
Serious Rock.
That was bad.
The only thing I was like a little like how does this make sense? Is he's skinny, and I like the skinny thing too. But it sounds like they inject him in the lab. But then he's like, my son sacrificed himself for me, and he's already big. But it all looks like that's like in ancient Egypt.
Well,
so
yeah, that's supposed to be like 5,000 years ago or something.
So but then there's this lab that was it that 5,000 years ago? I'm just trying to put together.
Could be ancient aliens or
He's
some kind of
frozen.
fucking.
Maybe, yeah.
Could be the Eternals.
The Eternals,
Wrong
yeah.
universe. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not too familiar with Black Adam. I didn't know that he was at one point skinny. I thought he was just always looking like a god.
Yeah, maybe
But
he's
I like it.
reborn, or he's in a tomb and they bring him back to life. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have no clue either because I wasn't a big Shazam fan.
I read a little bit in the New 52, and then they've rebooted his origin several times at this point.
Right.
I just know that he's the Shazam bad guy.
He's the Shazam bad guy, but like an anti-hero now. This one directed by Jaume Collet Serra, this director who had last movie he did was Jungle Cruise, Disney, with The Rock also. So he's working with The Rock. But he also did Nonstop, that Liam Neeson movie on the plane, and The Shallows, which is that shark movie, I believe.
Wow.
So that's what this guy does. Anyways,
So this guy makes action.
he makes some kind of action movies,
Yeah.
yes. October 21st this year, this will be coming out. We can all see what happens. Listener, let us know what you thought about this trailer. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. There's a link in the show notes. It is a closed, exclusive group just for you. And right now, it's full of spoiler threads of various shows, various episodes as they come out because there's a lot going on. So it's fun seeing everyone's reactions to these new shows. I'm talking like spoiler threads for Obi-Wan, Stranger Things, The Boys, Ms.Marvel, all of that will be there.
So much going on.
Lots going on. Let's move on to another trailer. This one is we talked about this a few weeks ago when they put out a short teaser. The Hulu movie Prey, which is a Predator prequel movie, they've put out a full trailer. And I find this very interesting. I want to know from you, Anthony, now that we've seen and you kind of see the synopsis of what this is, you see this trailer, what do you think about Prey now?
Well, I don't like it as much as I thought I would.
Oh, really?
I think it looks fine, but the one thing right off the bat that took me out of it, I know a lot of American-made stuff does this.
I know what you're going to say, and I agree.
Yeah, the Native Americans speaking English to me is just so off-putting.
Yes.
Not in like this needs to be woke, but just like that's just so inaccurate.
It takes you right out of it, right?
It takes me right out of it. Right.
I almost wished it was either there was no dialogue or it was in indigenous language.
Right.
Is it or is it not? Is it dubbed in English?
No, here's the thing. So this is kind of cool. In the press release of this, they one of the producers is Comanche. So the press release says, quote, Prey will be available on Hulu entirely in Comanche as a language option or with Comanche subtitles. This is the first time a feature-length movie on a direct-to-consumer streaming platform has been available in the Comanche language in its entirety.
So what, is the commercial just in English and the movie shot in Comanche?
I think they shot it both ways. Possibly.
But really?
I don't know.
Why would they shoot
so.
the movie twice?
Yeah, it's a lot of money to shoot a movie twice.
Well, will they
run.
dub it? So it's going to be dubbed in Comanche? I would almost watch that Comanche version because I wish they weren't speaking English. But I'll tell you,
so weird.
It is weird. It's kind of cool though. So this one is set in the Comanche Nation 300 years ago in 1719, and like we're going to talk about a franchise that's 30 plus years old, and it probably needs to go away. This is another one, right? Predator. They haven't made a good Predator movie really since the first one,
right?
But I watched this trailer and I was like, you know what? This could actually be a good Predator movie. This is the way to do it. Set it before everything that we've seen and make it just a simple hunt horror scare movie. I kind of geek boner. It gave me a little bit of promise that this may actually be a decent Predator movie. Ruggs, what do you think?
I'm just so like stymied by this whole Comanche thing. Like I want to hear, like I want it to be like Apocalypto, like where it's shot and everybody's performing it in Comanche.
Yeah,
I could hear the language. I could read, and if I want to, and then just make a dub version if I want it in English, and I'm a lazy fuck to read. Like I'd rather it be done that way. I don't know if that's the way they did. That's the way I would do it, but that's me.
So all the stories say it's going to be available. I assume that meant that they shot it both ways.
Yeah, this needs
say that again.
Further investigation.
What did they say?
They said, quote, Prey will be available on Hulu entirely in Comanche as a language option or with Comanche subtitles.
So people in the Comanche community can read it.
No, but you could also change the language to Comanche, and maybe, I guess then it would be a dub.
I think it would be dubbed Comanche.
Yeah, it would be
'Cause
dubbed.
It would be dubbed in Comanche audio and also as Comanche subtitles.
Because you can see the words she's speaking, the mouth is moving in English.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I like the gimmick, right? I like the idea of this is an impossible situation. You have the Predator hunting Native Americans. I mean, it took, in the first Predator movie, these were the baddest men on the planet with modern weapons, and they were all getting killed.
Right.
Now you throw in, primitive weapons with another lack of understanding of what's even going on. Like, this seems like a mismatch. I think that's a great premise, but yeah, I mean, if you're going to go Native Americans, especially in 2022, I think you got to go all the way with it and have them speak in their language.
But you got to imagine that the Predator 300 years ago is not maybe also as advanced as they are as the ones we've seen. Right? Maybe
Perhaps,
their tech hasn't come up. But that whole bear scene, the bear attack, and then it getting pulled out, that was fucking great. I was like, oh, shit, this looks good. Okay, from this article on /film, listen to this. The director is Dan Trachtenberg, the guy who did 10 Cloverfield Lane. It says Trachtenberg clarified and emphasized, saying the creative team did struggle with what he called the Hunt for Red October thing, where the characters speak Russian before transitioning into English. He said they never quite came up with a way to make that work. So instead, the film was shot in English and Comanche. Quote, both languages are spoken, but when you hear English, it's as if it's Comanche. But what John A. is speaking to is on Hulu, there will be a Comanche dub of the movie. Okay, so maybe... Okay, I'm confused.
Huh.
It doesn't make anything any clearer.
Yeah, I'm confused.
On one hand, they go, it was shot in both.
I guess we'll figure it out when
it comes out. August 5th, this will be on Hulu. And I thought it was promising. A good idea for the Predator. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Next trailer here. This one is just for me, really, because this is a property adaptation I've been waiting for years. It is Neil Gaiman's The Sandman, finally coming out on Netflix, also on August 5th. Joseph Gordon-Levitt had been trying to make this a movie for years. But the thing is, it's hard to make this book a movie because there's a lot. There's like 150 issues. There's whole story arcs. I don't know how you would have done this as a movie. I love it as a TV show. Ruggs, you read The Sandman, correct?
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite book. It was very long and drawn out. I was told that it was great and going to change my life, and it is boring.
I fucking loved it. I love The Sandman. What did you think?
It was fine. No, I'm just being a dick. It was. I like death. I like that whole
the
idea of death being personified as a person, and seeing how like John Constantine would roll into this every once in a while, and there would be like this the manifestations and the personifications of like misery and death and destruction, delirium, despair, and all these destiny, everything with a D, right? So except for Morpheus, which is, I guess he's Dream, right?
He's Dream. They're all D's, but
yeah,
like
they all got big D's.
Anthony, I read this in the 90s in college, right? And Death, his dream sister, she is like a goth chick with so it was like perfect. Like you fell in love. You're like, whoa, that chick is cute, even though she's Death. I'd still totally hook up with her, and she'd come and get you when you die. So fun stuff like that. I'm
fun stuff like that.
The guy playing Dream looks good. what little they show us of this with the mask in the beginning. It looks good. We'll see how much money they have, but there's a shot of this palace. It looks fucking great. I can't wait. The story is fantastic. You also see the Corinthian rugs at the very end. Did you notice that?
Is he an angel?
No, the Corinthian was the serial killer, and he had teeth in his eyes. He didn't have eyeballs. He had little mouths, little teeth in his eyes. It was very creepy at the time. Also, they are gender flipping John Constantine.
Yes, Joanna Constantine.
Which is fine. That's fine. It works.
We've already seen the regular Constantine.
Yeah, we've seen him enough. If it's not Matt Ryan, just make it somebody completely different. But Gwendolyn Christie is playing. I think she's playing the Lucifer in this.
Oh, really? So that's Brianna.
Yeah, Brianna Tarth, I believe, is in this. But I don't know. They used the logo from the comics. I was like, oh shit, geek boner! I can't wait for Sandman. It could be a big fantasy thing for people to get into. Lots of story to mine.
Like the thing is, I never understood where Sandman is going. Like I understand the dream. Like he was away from the dreaming. He goes back and you kind of get reacquainted with all the deities again through him, and you get to see all their weird shit. And then but I never understood, like, if I had to explain it to somebody,
it's hard to explain because like one story arc is like that Lucifer doesn't want to manage hell anymore, and he just gives it to Dream. And now he's got to deal with it. But then he's also like hanging out with William Shakespeare and influencing him and going and stopping serial killers. And this is just all this crazy shit.
Yeah, he just kind of goes. Yeah, everything's kind of happening in a meta way.
Yeah,
it's just weird. It's I guess it's like. I don't know. It kind of goes hand in hand with the Doom Patrol, I would say.
A little bit. It's as weird as that, and it needs to be. So hopefully they can nail it. I got a story here, kind of a follow-up from what we talked about last week when we were talking about DC and the restructuring and how Todd Phillips was ready to make a Joker sequel. Well, we broke that news open because after we recorded that and posted that, he officially announced that there is, yes, a sequel in the works, and he announced the title, which is in French. It's called Joker Folie à Deux, which sounds a little bit pretentious, but Folie à Deux, loosely translated, means madness for two. It's a condition that's defined as an identical or similar mental disorder affecting two or more individuals, usually the members of a close family. What do you guys make of that title? Is it telling you anything?
Is that a Harley Quinn?
Well, because I have a big article that just literally posted 10 minutes before we started recording. Before I talk about that, Anthony, what do you think about that title, and what does it make you think of?
Folie à Deux? I mean,
Folie à Deux.
It's either Harley Quinn, right? Or perhaps a bigger role for Batman.
It refers to another person. You got the word two in there.
Maybe they do a story with the Joker as, even though he's the villain, from his point of view, the protagonist, and then Batman is in his mind, the antagonist, and you do it like that.
So the Harley Quinn guess, that was everybody's speculation that Harley Quinn's going to be in here. Is it going to be Margot Robbie? What's going on? Okay, this article from Hollywood Reporter posted like an hour ago. It says Joker 2, Lady Gaga in early talks to join Joaquin Phoenix, Todd Phillips in the musical sequel. Oh, this is not a joke. Lady Gaga may be cast as a new Harley Quinn, and the sequel may be a musical. This is all very weird.
Well, at least the music will be decent.
Well, at least, yeah, you have someone who can sing. She's a decent actor also.
Yeah.
She surprised
she's
me.
Not bad.
Surprised me in things. But, okay. Reaction to that.
I think, I'll just say, you want my reaction?
Yes.
Is that what you're going to ask?
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. I pulled an Imran. My bad.
It's okay. I deserve it.
Yeah. I think they struck gold with their interpretation of just doing a Scorsese film with Joker. I think they're playing with house money, and I think I don't know if they can do that again.
Ooh, they're pushing it now. If they're gonna,
I think they're pushing it. I don't think the character of Joker is actually a character that is meant to be a lead in a lot of things. I think they're doing the Joaquin Phoenix because he's an Oscar-winning actor.
Yeah.
They're going to potentially hire Lady Gaga. They're doing some interesting stuff, but I don't think there's a lot of mileage in that actual character to be a lead.
Will you throw in a Harley Quinn and the Arkham Asylum? Does that do anything for you?
I think they're playing with they're playing with fire in this. I think I don't know if they know really what they're doing.
Maybe not.
I don't know. I think it's just I think a sequel is a tough call, and then yeah, sure. I mean, a musical, that's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Well,
I just find this whole evolution fascinating.
It is kind of crazy, right?
I do. I really don't understand. Like, see, the Joker works the best with Batman. That's
Right.
what he's designed to be.
Right.
You could do stories of Joker on it, but it doesn't sing unless you got Batman there. Now, in the TV show, the animated TV series, they introduced Harley Quinn
Yep.
as like an annoying foil to the Joker, an annoying kind of like sidekick, but overcomplicates things and, is actually competing with the Joker to do stuff.
But she blew up and it became more about.
But no, they put Margot Robbie, this really ridiculously attractive woman, in the role and put her in booty shorts. And all of a sudden, people were like, oh, I don't mind that she has an annoying voice.
No, but even before
I
that,
can get past that.
Even before that, the whole like abusive relationship and her trying to get away, and she goes back, and then she leaves him and goes back. Like, that was something interesting. I don't mind they're recasting the Harley Quinn, right? At this point, we have several Jokers, we have several Batmen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's just the evolution of these characters, and they're trying to like, I don't know. Then we had that Harley Quinn movie, the one with the long
Birds
title,
of Prey and the Emancipation, Smashing.
So it's kind of like they're throwing that away, and they're going into, or this is a separate version, right? So,
well, there's also that Arkham Asylum spin-off show on HBO that possibly may have a Harley Quinn in it. I don't know if that's yet another person. But yeah, they're pushing it. Like you said, Anthony, I feel like they're pushing it a little too far. They're like, hey, make everything a musical. Why not?
I have no interest in a Joker movie without Batman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's the way it is. And
I agree.
Yeah.
I really don't have and I don't think there should be a Harley Quinn movie without Joker.
Musical. Yeah, this was an interesting.
I know you like that show that she has, that cartoon, but I don't know. I find it very annoying.
The cartoon is fucking fantastic. And people will back me up on that, fuckers.
Yeah, but they're wrong, and it's fine.
No, it's actually good, and there's like good character development happening.
It's mediocre. It's
above mediocre. You clearly haven't watched.
I did. I watched the whole thing.
No, you didn't.
I skipped a couple episodes, but I watched the end.
Just what they did with Kite Man alone blew me away. Kite Man.
Yeah, I just don't think the Joker movie was a success, so they definitely are proving what I'm saying wrong.
Right.
The Joker movie was a success and got nominated for an Oscar, made $1 billion. Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar. Great. But that character, that you lose something every time you do revolve an entire story around that character, because that character is meant to be a bit piece. He's not the main character.
He's not the main course.
He is chaos. He is a tornado. Once you start peeling that back, you run out of things for that character. You're losing that character when you start adding origin, when you make a whole movie about him, when you make another movie about him with his girlfriend and they're doing a musical. Like,
there could be some singing and dancing.
This is not necessarily in the best interest of that character, utilizing that character in the best way. And again, maybe they'll prove me wrong again, but I don't think that first movie, although I enjoyed it, I would say is a couple degrees away from what actually the Joker is.
Yeah. It's a good
it's a good Taxi Driver impersonation.
It's a good Scorsese fan film.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy Joker 2 news. I don't know what they're doing. Let's finish up the news with some Marvel news. Now, Marvel and Kevin Feige and Disney never officially announced a Thunderbolts movie was happening, but they have a director.
Oh, shit.
They have assigned and hired a director This dude's name is Jake Schreier. Will be directing a Thunderbolts movie for Marvel. Holy shit.
But who is Jake Schreier?
Who is Jake Schreier? Does anybody know him? That is a great question.
I don't know him.
He's directed a movie called Robot and Frank in 2012.
Oh my God, that movie.
What is that? Have you seen that?
I've seen a little bit of it.
And then there was a movie called Paper Towns in 2015. And since then, he's been doing music videos for Kanye West and TV and Justin Bieber and episodes of TV.
Like, kidding? That was a crazy ass sick show. I don't know if you ever watched that.
Oh, he did Kidding. You know, he did an episode of
show.
Dave, which is a great show about LD, Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky's the best, dude. LD up in this bitch. But yeah, he's been in Shameless. He did one episode of Shameless. So I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know Robot and Frank, but what about the whole idea of Thunderbolts as a movie, Anthony? Does it geek boner floppy Jock?
Also in the middle, right? Like, this is Marvel attempting to do their own Suicide Squad. It's better.
Yes.
Right? They looked at it and they go, we want to make a villain movie. We have the Thunderbolts. We can maybe do this and we can do it better than DC has. You know, and you have these characters have all been built in varying ways of good to not great, you know, in their own movies. Yelena Belova, probably one of the better ones.
So
and
who are potential members here that could be in this movie?
Well, you've written down Bucky Barnes. Bucky Barnes seems like a weird one. Zemo, Yelena Belova, U.S. Agent, The Abomination, Ghost, Taskmaster.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's a crazy team with Valentina D'Allegro, whatever her name is, leading them, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know about Bucky. I don't know how he would fits into that. But some of these other characters make sense. Taskmaster was a terrible character in Black Widow. They completely neutered that character.
He needs another chance, or she needs another chance. It could be somebody else. I don't know what you do with it.
Ghost was not a great character in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but, you know, whatever. The only thing that I would say, besides the fact that, you know, it's obviously a Suicide Squad, Marvel Suicide Squad, is seems like just kind of a shame that, you know, for a variety of reasons, but William Hurt passed.
Yeah.
And you'd have thought
a
movie called Thunderbolts would probably have had Red Hulk in it, so that sucks.
General Ross. Do you recast the General Ross?
Why not? Just the
Yeah,
white dude with a mustache.
Yeah, I think that's an easy recast right there.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you can do it.
And then you can have a Red
stinks
Hulk.
that, you know, William Hurt was probably going to be the lead in that movie.
Yeah.
The name of the group is his nickname in the comics.
General Thunderbolt Ross. In the comics, there's been no less than 11 different versions of
there's a lot.
Thunderbolts, led by all sorts of people, like Winter Soldier led one, Red Hulk, Hawkeye led one. Oh my God, there's so many. But what the MCU has given us, Ruggs, would you go see a movie with these characters that we have been introduced to so far?
It depends. Like who they pick as the roster. I think that's. I know they're going to do. They're going to use people that we already know, but they have to have a breakout character. They're going to have to introduce a character. Like, so they're going to use, like, you know, Black Widow and, you know, maybe Baron Zemo, because isn't he in the original Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
You got Hawkeye that you can use, all those fucking guys, like a U.S. Agent. So, but they need a breakout character, someone new. Maybe I'm thinking maybe it could be Songbird, it could be Nighthawk.
I see what you're saying. They need,
you know, maybe like another... they're gonna have to introduce a new. I think that would make me go, oh, I've never seen Nighthawk. Like, I'd like to see him, or some guy that they haven't put in there that's kind of like cool that we could, you know, Killer Shrike. That's
a good call. It would be a good place to introduce a new character like they do in the Suicide Squad.
Because you're just getting like more of the same. It's good to like, let's shake it up. Let's put some new blood in there.
Frank Grillo Crossbones should be part of this team. What do you think about that?
Get Vermin in there.
Venom was part of the Thunderbolts. But I could see you could throw Winter Soldier as the guy that they put in there to make sure everybody stays on track, right? The people don't go crazy.
So he's their Flag?
Yeah, he would be like their
Rick Flag.
Yeah, their Rick Flag, exactly.
What's the newest? Let me see the newest roster.
Oh God,
America Chavez, Power Man, and Persuasion.
There's so many teams. Like you have Deadpool, bad guys like Electro,
Craven.
like Norman Osborn led a team
Abomination.
at one point.
Forgot about him.
Abomination is on the list here.
Yeah. So, he's on your list?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. Let's see.
There is a lot of people you could bring. Batroc the Leaper was it one iteration of the Thunderbolts. Everybody
Jigsaw
has been a Thunderbolt. So this one's a good one. Red Hulk, Deadpool, Elektra, Punisher, Agent Venom, Ghost Rider. That's like the fucking Midnight Suns. They should keep that on the side. It is almost like the Midnight Suns. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Anyways, we'll see who ends up in this roster, but I'm excited that there's Geek Boner Thunderbolts. Why not? They're doing everything else. Give us the Thunderbolts. Okay, we're going to get to our first of two reviews. Before we do, listener, check out our TeePublic shop. You can get great swag there, jockandnerd.com/shop. We got t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, cell phone cases, pillowcases, tote bags, laptop cases, all with our logos, old logo, new logo, Rug Boy's face. A lot of sales, a lot of good shit. Check it out. First review of the episode will be Ms.Marvel. It's finally here. Geek Boner. Oh, shit. The Ms.Marvel first episode has premiered on Disney+. Here are your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
I couldn't be more excited for this show. I am just glad this is on television. Of course, Ms.Marvel, based on the comics, Marvel Comics, created by Sana Amanat, Stephen Wacker, G. Willow Wilson, Adrian Alfona, and Jamie McKelvey. Her first appearance in Captain Marvel number 14 in 2013. But the Ms.Marvel character was Carol Danvers first, and she started back in 1977. Of course, this version taking the name from her. This show, created for TV and written by Bisha K. Ali, and the first two episodes directed by Adil El Arabi and Bilal Fallah. Adil and Bilal, who directed Bad Boys for Life, which I kind of want to still watch. I heard it was good.
I heard that's a good one. I heard that's the best Bad Boys.
I heard it is, especially since we reviewed the worst one. I should at least watch the best one. And, of course, newcomer Iman Vellani in the lead role as Kamala Khan. Anthony, what happens in episode 1 of Ms.Marvel here?
Ms.Marvel is about I think she's probably 15 or 16.
She's 16, I believe.
She's a junior, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's a 16-year-old about to get her license in high school in Jersey City, and she loves superheroes. She's a Pakistani young girl growing up in it seems like a pretty strict Pakistani house.
In Jersey City.
In Jersey City, and she is obsessed with superheroes, most specifically Ms.Marvel. She's not very popular at her school, but she daydreams all day about becoming a superhero, and the whole episode revolves around her going to this Avenger Con and showing off her Ms.Marvel costume because she wants to participate in the costume contest for Ms.Marvel. But her parents are very strict, very against everything she likes, and she has to find a way to get over there. And in the midst of getting over there, she comes across an object that gives her some powers and perhaps makes her dreams come true.
And she's an artist, and she doodles, and you pretty much just described my childhood, if I'm going to be honest, aside from the fact that I'm not a girl.
Let me put on my host hat, Imran, for a second. Imran, I feel like we should start with you.
You know what I'm going to say.
What did you think of this show? I think it's only appropriate.
Yes, no, dude, oh my God. I was smiling ear to ear the whole way through. Two of my fears were completely alleviated. I was worried about newcomer Iman Vellani. She fucking nails it. The show is delightful, charming. She's super likable. And overall, I was like, this is a great, fun tone, refreshing tone. I love the visuals. They nailed the Pakistani home life. I could go through all the detail. I mean, I related to this so much that I was just like, holy shit. Just flip out Ms.Marvel with Spider-Man, and that's my teenage years right there. Same thing, like I was doodling. And I love how she's a fan of Marvel like us watching. Like she's one of us. She loves the MCU. But first episode, I thought it was great. It was so charming and fun. And I was so happy that this is good. I was like, this is fucking good. I'm glad they did this. What'd you guys think, Anthony?
So I was a bit worried because this show is PG, first PG Marvel
It's
show.
actually not. It is still TV-14. They changed that
Is
later.
it? Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm mistaken. I will stand corrected. But I was worried about the show in that I didn't think it was really aimed for me, not because of the Pakistani stuff, but more because of the tone. And Imran, I'm with you.
Oh my God!
I actually really liked
shit.
this. I was very, very pleasantly surprised. It seems like it's stepping up. It's aiming to be a coming of age tale.
Yeah.
Which I've always enjoyed.
Yeah.
I went on a coming of age spree a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
so I really enjoy those types of stories. But it's told from a Pakistani perspective, which is different. We don't have to see that.
No.
And as someone that's grown up in a half Asian household, I can also relate to some of these. Not me personally, but I've seen family members that
Sure.
have similar situations with strict parents and the friend coming over and immediately the parents want to feed the
Yes,
kid.
here's
and
all
bring
this
them-
food. Take it over.
Yeah, and that's their superpower.
Yep.
So I think all of that stuff is great. I liked that. I think Iman Vellani is very charming in the role. It's surprising that's her first role. I
Yeah.
think she's infinitely already more charismatic than Brie Larson was as Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So that's good. I hate to have to put something down to praise something, but it's a natural comparison. And I think so far, the show is fun. The stakes are she just has to get to a con, right?
Right.
Like it's not a big deal, but it's also very
To her, it's huge.
yeah, for her it's big, and I like that. And I like the way that, there are times when they're telling the story visually in the background.
Oh.
My favorite being when she's texting with her
It's so
friend that she
good.
can't go to the Avenger Con.
Yeah.
And they're doing the emojis and neneon lights in the storefront
It's
that
on
he
the
lives above.
street. It's in the
Right.
it's in the environment. That was so well done.
So I enjoyed all of it. I mean I have a couple nitpicks here and there, but overall I watched it twice. I liked it.
Nice. The graffiti, as she was talking about Captain Marvel, you saw the graffiti change behind her.
I think they might have hit a home run with casting her.
No, she is very good, and I love how all the cultural, religious stuff is just matter of fact, right? If you don't get it, you're gonna learn about it, but if you get it, you
Right.
fucking get it. You're like,
Right. They don't hit you. They don't hammer you with they call her. They're throwing words like beta.
Beta
and,
means daughter.
Chalo,
Yeah.
and I don't understand that stuff. But I'm just like, okay, they're going you don't have that character going. Why does he keep calling you?
Yeah.
Why does your mom say Chalo all the time? It's like
Yeah.
they don't have to explain it. They're just like, no, you're in for the ride. This is immersing you in this culture. But she's also American.
you could
right?
probably figure out what that means. Chalo. What is that? What do you think it means?
Let's
Yeah,
go, right?
absolutely. It means let's go. Beta is daughter. I heard that growing up my whole life. Oh, come here, Beta. Chalo, yar,
Right,
let's
so-
go, yar. You got to throw the word yar in there. Also, Ruggs, what did you think of this?
I thought it was good. That it was fine. I enjoyed it for what it was, and yeah, it's good. So, what did I? Let's see. What did I like about it? You guys didn't say. I mean, you guys have been gushing over it. I feel like I have nothing to say.
It's so good.
Oh, do you hate it? If you hate it, you can say you hate it.
No, I don't hate it. I thought I was going to not like it, but it was fine. It was hey, this is pretty good. I'd probably watch this. So I was begrudgingly watching it because I was okay, it's probably going to be there. And there was times where I felt like they infantilized her a little bit too much. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like does Marvel know what teenagers act like? For real?
It's a very Disney school environment.
Yeah.
It's like Disney teenagers.
But yeah, they're usually giving you the finger and, acting really, really moody. But yeah, it was cool.
I mean, I'm telling you, all of this, even the trauma got me. Like the dodgeball hitting her in the face, that happened to me all the time. And I was like, oh, fuck, I totally get her. I love when she's in the driving test and she goes, Bismillah. And he goes, bless you. It's great. I think the mom knows more than she's letting on about her lineage and the bracelet.
Yeah, you'd have to think,
Now,
right?
a question that I want to ask is besides that, so they changed her origin with the bracelet and the mom.
Let's jump into that because that's probably the thing that most comic book fans are going to be like, wait a minute, what the hell did you just do?
But is her persona even match the comic book? Is it? I mean, I feel like there's a departure from her in the comic.
It's a slightly modified version, maybe. So in the comics, she's an Inhuman, right? She has this in her DNA, and Inhumans' powers are triggered when they are passed through a Terrigen mist, which is what happened. Black Bolt crashed the fucking thing, and Terrigen went across the world, and all these Inhumans got awakened. I like how it's still tied to her DNA. It still has something to do with her family, and the fact that it's in her DNA that this bracelet activates these powers, and they do a little bit of like the stretchy hand thing, but they're these like Green Lantern constructs, essentially, of like prisms that she's making.
Yeah, they made her Green Lantern.
It's very Green Lantern. Instead of the stretchy, embiggening powers, which may have looked goofy. I don't know. They do it in the video game.
Ruggs, what do you prefer? I mean, we've only seen her using her powers for 5 minutes, but do you prefer this variation, or would you have preferred that she's an Inhuman and has all that other shit going on?
I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that because I feel like it may be like I do like. Well, they can't do the Terrigen Mist thing because they don't have Inhumans in this world, or do they? They do, I guess. They have Black Bolt,
but he was an alternate universe. That's not this universe.
But we know that that's a possibility now,
right?
But they had that really bad show, and they burned the whole Inhumans fucking concept,
right? But so she gets this bracelet, and she can make things happen, kind of like a la Green Lantern. Purple energy this time. And sometimes it looks good and sometimes it doesn't. Like there's one point when she was going over the crowd and it looked really bad, but other shots it looked fine. So they kind of have to perfect it, I think, a little bit more. But
maybe she's just learning how to use it. Also,
I think it would be harder to pull off the skin thing, like her actually stretchy thing. Right. And I think that it would be like they did it in The Incredibles too, like twice. Like stretchy powers and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's old hat and they're trying to do something different. I don't know.
When I saw it, the first thing I thought to myself was, I don't know if I like this. She just has this bracelet that has powers.
Yeah.
And then I watched it again and went, maybe they're doing a throwback thing because a lot of the like OG heroes that get their powers is just very matter of fact. Like Green Lantern, he finds a wooden lantern. Yeah. The Flash like just happens to be in a storm and gets hit with chemicals. Like it's all like these things where just like if you think about it for 2 seconds, you're like, wait, what? But it's just like, oh, this is comics, whatever. So we'll see how it plays out. But I'm not as
I don't think it really matters that much.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not as lukewarm on it anymore.
That's how
I'm like,
people
all right, fine.
get powers. So it makes me think of like the 10 Rings a little bit. You know, it makes me think of Quasar's quantum bands. Is it alien tech? Is it really old? How does her, because her mom also talks about her grandma and how she comes from a long line of fantasizers. And she goes, I've seen what happens when people get obsessed by their fantasies. So clearly she has gone through something from her nanny, her mom, and the bracelet is part of it. So that's interesting. That's going to be interesting to find out what that is. But I was okay with, I was like, it's still tied to her DNA, like the Inhuman thing in the comics. So they pivoted a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge deal, and I think it's fine for what it is. Some of the things I really enjoyed, the mom being super strict, like in with Filipinos is the dad that's stricter but on the girl, right? But then the mom is this one. It's reversed. I like that the mom was strict, but then the dad is like kind of this fun-loving guy, and he's way out of touch with what's going on,
right.
Like. He doesn't really understand American culture.
Yeah.
Like he walks in, they let her go to the con, and he walks in dressed as Hulk.
Oh my God, that was so funny and cringy.
Yeah, but then like you can see that like when she says they're embarrassing, like the mom is pissed, but the dad is actually like hurt. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that rings true too. Like I think the dad would be like, he's just trying his best to like give his daughter a good life, and he was trying to do a good thing for her, and she's just so. She's a teenager and she doesn't realize the meaning of her words when she's saying something like that.
She realized later she hurt him and felt bad. But the whole the fear of, it's not a fear of your parents. It's a fear of disappointing your parents in like the Eastern culture. And I just love how they're nailing like living in these two cultures, having one foot in each and trying to navigate life. Like,
Well, then, and the son is able to do what he wants.
so that's also very true. The boy always gets preferential treatment. In fact, my sister yells at my mom for this all the time. She's like, because my mom is always worried about, like, what am I going to eat? And she doesn't give a shit about my sister or anything. She's like, whatever. What is Imran going to eat? We got to make stuff. And it's always been this way. So firstborn son, older son, they get a little bit of preferential treatment. Although my sister got away with a lot of shit after me, when I went to college, because the thing about her having like a male friend, maybe it's different now and they're a little more liberal, but my sister had some male friends too. But normally it'd be like, how can you can't hang out with a Gora, you can't, and like for me to like
Gora boy.
a Gora boy, it was a white boy, and for me to like hang out with girls would have been completely forbidden. Like we didn't, you don't get to date or anything. You're just not.
Maybe they're okay with her hanging out with the boy because it sounds like the boy doesn't have parents.
Oh, right. Bruno, he might not.
Right.
They kind of look after him.
Right, because they're always feeding him and they like let him come over, and she even makes the argument that he needs someone to go with.
Oh, that's
to
right.
The con.
Yeah, and he's clearly part of the family. He knows a little bit of Urdu. He programmed that thing to understand Urdu, which was kind of nice. So yeah, he's like
the father thinks it's black magic, and dark magic.
He's like, Bruno, what is this?
Zuzu, turn on the sports channel, Zuzu.
Here is a great little tidbit about. So in that one scene where she takes her to go shopping or stuff for the wedding, and she's trying on, and it's like a whole Pakistani Indian area. First of all, that's like Devon Avenue here in Chicago. I was like, that's like where I grew up, on Devon. The vendor that was selling the food, and he makes the joke about how guys will charge you extra for sauce. You remember that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Ruggs, you remember that guy?
Yeah.
I went to Islamic Sunday school and high school with that dude. His name is Azhar Usman. We were in plays together.
That guy?
Yes. I went to high school with him. He's we did plays together in high school.
How do you know that?
How do I know that? That's Azhar Usman. I went to high school with that dude.
You recognized him right away. You went, oh my God.
I knew he was in the show a little bit ago. I didn't know what part he would play. I think he's in a couple of episodes. He has a name. His name is Najaf in the credits. But I was like, holy shit, there's Azhar. Look.
It could have been you.
I mean, he's there, and I'm
What the
here.
hell?
I don't know. Something took
You could have been in the halal truck.
took a wrong turn
We
somewhere.
could have had Azhar on our show and Imran over there.
I know. In another
Yeah.
universe,
Imagine how things would have
in
played
an
out.
alternate universe, I'm playing Ms.Marvel on the show. No, but I was
But
like,
they're like, wait, you're white. We can't cast you, this guy.
Well, there's makeup and CG and deep faking. No, that's the dude I went to high school with. He's been posting about it. I was like, holy shit, he's in the fucking show. That was crazy to see him.
Did you get caught up in this is amazing for Pakistani people and brown people?
It is.
Yeah, I did see that stuff on Twitter.
I did. I reposted some of it from our Facebook page.
I think I saw that. I had to roll my eyes. One of my friends, who I will not name, posted within our group like, "This is awesome for Pakistani people."
Yeah.
And he clearly hadn't even watched the show. I was like,
it makes
you haven't even. I mean, I hadn't watched it. I'm like, you can't post that and be like, "This is amazing, props to Marvel."
It could have been complete.
What if it was all complete bullshit?
It could have been
like,
shit.
terrible?
That's the thing. I was worried. She could have been not good, and they could have missed the whole. But they nailed it, and it has the tone of like early Spider-Man stuff, which I love. The Easter eggs in the Avengers Con alone. Why don't they should have a real Avengers Con? They should have like a Marvel convention. Just
I'm
Marvel.
sure they will eventually do that.
I love how it was at Camp Lehigh where Captain America.
So were people like texting about this being a big for Pakistani people when it was like the night of came out?
No, that is not big for Pakistani people because that guy they thought was a murderer.
I was introduced to a lot of Pakistani things.
That is another.
That is a good Pakistani show, but that doesn't paint that one Pakistani in the best light.
There's a lot of cab drivers. There's a lot of Pakistani cab drivers that may or may not have murdered someone in their sleep. I don't know.
That's a good cut right there. I forgot that show even existed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, listen, like we've been doing the show with Imran, and like every 2 months, there's like, this is great for Pakistani people. I'm like, well, I guess, yeah, the people it's catching on.
That was a great
keep
show.
doing it.
I didn't actually say this is great for Pakistani people. All I said is I feel seen. I can relate to this. They're doing
Remember
it right.
Aziz Ansari when he had his show?
Yeah,
Masters
of None.
Yeah, that was great for Pakistani people.
Yeah, sure. He's Indian. I don't know what he is.
He's like, I just like it's reliving this first moment every 2 years or every 6 months.
But this one is huge because she is joining the MCU.
This is like the Black Panther. Grimrod.
This is my Black. I've had my Black Panther moment. Shit.
This is really the Black Panther. Grimrod.
Yeah, no,
I do like the show.
It was
though.
good.
So,
No,
at least so far,
It's a good
That's
show.
all it really matters.
Did you
at the
notice
end of
they're
the day.
giving tours of Asgard in that Avengers Con? I think we'll see hints of that in the Thor movie. I thought that was interesting. That it's like a tourist attraction now, and it's probably annoying to go there. Yeah. The post-credit scene.
There's a post-credit scene?
Yes.
Oh, I missed it.
You missed that? Ruggs,
tell me.
Ruggs, did you see it?
What?
Post-credit scene.
I did stick around for it, but I don't remember what it was.
So basically, you're at this like government office, and as you see this woman,
Someone gets a phone call and like we have to go get her, right?
This lady, and they're wearing badges. This is damage control. Yeah, and this lady goes, "Teenage girl, AvengerCon, look at this," and she shows the video to the guy we saw in Spider-Man: No Way Home, who was interrogating Peter Parker in the beginning.
Oh, that's who he is?
That's who that was. He looks at the video and he just goes, "Yeah, bring her in." And it cuts there. So damage control has now been alerted to what happened at the Avengers Con.
Oh, why the hell did they do that? Fuck, why did they do that?
It was right after the end credits, which had there's another thing, but first for me, there's a female Urdu rapper and the end credits, and I was like, holy shit, this is really good. I did not know that there was female Urdu rappers out there. I know there was a bunch of Indian female rappers, like there's a whole group. But that was a dope song. Also, you notice in the end credits, there's a Trust a Bro truck driving by, which is the company that the tracksuit mafia from Hawkeye. That's who they work for, the Trust a Bros.
That would be great if Echo could be in this show.
Is it going to be Echo or is it going to be what's her name, Kate Bishop?
Oh, I was thinking of the Indian versus Native American.
Oh, you're like, you're not a real Indian. I'm a real Indian. No, you're a real Indian. I'm a real Indian.
That old gag.
I'm Pakistani. I'm not even from India.
Oh, God. I just watched that post-credit scene now while you guys are talking.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, it's quick.
So that's the dude. So that was kind of cool. So interesting. No villain quite set up yet, right? Except for damage control's coming after her.
What I hope is there will be a villain, but what I hope is first that they don't shoehorn the villain in the last second. But I also hope that the villain in some way addresses how this character comes of age. So I need a good coming of age film. You need if you're going to have a protagonist, it has to enhance the character so that they gut from one place to another in their development.
So what happens when you come of age?
In this or in general?
In general.
That's a big question.
I tried not to laugh.
You have sex? No.
I don't know. Someone touch your boobs? Like, I don't know. Like, what's happening?
To get to therapist.
I think in this storyline, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get her to understand where her parents are coming from, while her parents also kind of bit of perspective on maybe loosening up their grip on the old ways.
What she's going through.
She's becoming an adult and kind of in charge of her own agency.
But she will make a mistake that's going to have ramifications. She's going to have to learn responsibility. I mean, you're back to great power. Also must come great responsibility.
Right, because at the end of this episode, her mom reams around and she lays in bed and really doesn't care because she has powers.
Yeah, she's like cosmic. And her mom was like, I need you to focus on you. Who are you? And I was like, that feeling of like disappointing your mom is so palpable. So I hope they take their time and set her up properly, and give us more about her so we get to know her more. I'm fine. I know from the comics a little bit what some of the bad guys are, but
I'm going into this pretty blind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No. So far, I fucking love it.
I fucking loved it.
I'm very happy.
I think they did well with this casting. I think she's fun.
Yeah,
Iman Vellani.
Yeah, Iman Vellani doing a great job. So this one I think is 6 episodes. Also, so yeah, do we want to rate this first episode? We will catch up again. We're going to talk about it at the end when it wraps up. What would you give this, Anthony?
9 out of 10.
Oh shit!
Wow!
You took my number.
Wow.
I'll give it absolutely that for a solid first episode.
Just because I think it's a good solid episode, but I had such ambivalent expectations to this.
Yeah.
That like when I actually liked it, I was like, oh wow, this reeled someone in that could have given two fucks about a Ms. Marvel show.
I think it surprised a lot of people. It is well reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes. Ruggs, what would you give this a number? First episode.
I don't know. I'm gonna say 7.5.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like it's still, though it does have some flair to it. I feel like it's just like I could tell. It feels even so familiar to me, even though it's trying to be different. It feels too familiar to me to really like be like blown away by it. But I did think it was very good and it was serviceable. So let's see how it unravels.
I mean, there's definitely going to be like Marvel formula stuff happening. You know, you can almost kind of predict a little bit what maybe is going to happen, but I'm okay with that. Give me more Astagfirullahs and Bismillahs and Chalos and Betas.
That's the best part to me.
Yeah.
Is like the fact that we're kind of seeing into a different world that we don't get to see often. So I think that's the main thing that's interesting at this point.
I mean, even the little things like when she has the costume on in the mirror and she's like pulling it away from her, like it's a little too tight. It makes her like just how the clothes fit and the clothes they wear, the shalwar kameez is like baggy. But she's yet she's covered up, right? It's not a skimpy outfit. But to her, she kind of feels like my mom's going to think this is a skimpy outfit because it's really tight. And it's completely accurate. It's so good.
Now, this is the question that I have. Like having strict parents like that, where you're being treated even more strictly than like your peers. Like how do they retain that kind of control over you? Like at a certain point when you're a teenager, aren't you going to be like, well, fuck this shit? Like what happens? Is there a fear of like, being shunned or something? Like what happens? Like how do they maintain that kind of strictness?
It's a good question. I mean, I go back to like you don't want to disappoint them.
Well, there's a lot of because I've noticed it with cousins that I have that are under strict parents.
Yeah.
A lot of times it doesn't work out and that kid ends up being like really fucked and fucking promiscuous later on.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the parents, one, it's the disappointing the parents, but I think two, there's sometimes a lot of like religious aspect to this.
Yes.
Where like I know with one of my cousins, they would impart on her, this is, Jesus and God, and they're watching you, and like you can't be disappointing them. You have to go to church. So there was almost like
it's a 1-2 punch.
It's guilt.
Yeah,
it's a
that,
guilt
and
factor.
it's guilt, but it's also like it's tied to like your existence, right? Like if you disappoint us, you're not only disappointing us, but you're actually like you're gonna go to hell type thing. Where like, and if you're like super religious, then that's something that any sort of religion where if you're super religious and super into it, and it's now a personal thing, impasse against you, what your identity is. I think that always can kind of bind you to a system like that.
Also, growing up in like that kind of household, you come from a monotheistic, all talk about God, merciful God, and there's a lot of mentions of the devil all the time. Like, Shaitan this, Shaitan's going to get you. Like, she says it. The lines where she's like, they're drinking things out there, and she's like, are you going to be good like we raised you to be? Like, it's these subtle little things that make you not want to disappoint them. That's why I went to New York for art school. I was like, I can get the fuck out of here.
I find that very fascinating.
It is very interesting.
You're going to a party?
Yeah. And I love where she's like, what do you think, I'm going to go do cocaine? Like she had to say cocaine.
And her parents was like, look at her in horror. Like, are you serious?
Well, she was watching TV, and then her mom walked in, and she's like, what are you watching? And she switched channel.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. And I love when she's like, Captain Marvel, Astagfirullah. Like, it's just a bad, and they use the word haram in there. So that's the thing, to your point. Anthony's like, you don't want to be haram. You don't want to be non-kosher. You want to be halal. So it's all these things. And if you hang out with like a bunch of Muslim, that's why I never had any like Paki Desi friends. Because
I forgot to mention one thing.
A little too judgy. It was a little too judgy for me.
Really?
What? Yeah.
I just want to point out the beard of her brother was ridiculously awesome.
The beard is strong. He's got a strong beard game. Amir does. I have a cousin named Amir also. Like these names, it's like that on.
That beard was like legit.
That's how you know you're a fucking pious dude in Islam, really. And the real move is beard, no mustache. Just beard. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, take the mustache off.
Well, they did throw in the blind too, where the friend is going backpacking in Europe.
Oh, yes.
And,
Yep.
And the moms are totally judging her, like this person's like the devil. What are they doing?
Right.
Going backpacking in Europe.
They broke off a marriage.
Right.
Yeah, it's great, man. I can relate to this. I can't wait for the rest of the series.
Are you just like in tears the entire time?
I mean, like I
watching
said,
the show?
I was smiling and I was just like, wow, I can't believe this is on TV. This is fucking great.
It's nice.
They
It
pulled
is
it
nice
off.
to see.
They pulled it off. It's about time. Okay, we're going to take a break here, play some promos, and come back and talk about dinosaurs. Why the fuck not? Right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I'm Imran.
And I'm Sophia.
I'm the brother.
And I'm the sister. And we are watching a show about cousins.
We're your hosts for Dance of Joy, a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast.
We grew up watching the 80s hit sitcom, and now we'd like you to join us every week as we rediscover our love for our favorite TV cousins, Balky and Larry.
You can find our show at danceofjoypod.com and on all major podcast platforms. Now we are so happy, Sophia. We do the Dance of Joy.
Imran, this is a podcast. They can't see us.
Oh, po.
Hey, this is Matt.
And Jesse.
We host American Slacker Podcast, your weekly rundown for weird news, entertainment suggestions, and unique games.
Every other week, we bring on guests from all walks of life, like comedian Mark Forward of Letterkenny.
Yeah, we just call it tuna up here. We're pretty clear that it's a fish.
And NYC stand-up powerhouse Ian Fidance.
I want to fucking punch you in the fucking face with positivity and fun, motherfucker.
Actor Brandon Crane of Stephen King's It.
Because a lot of the work that I did, like Wonder Years to It, they were all very, period 50s, 60s, and, Chucks were all the rage.
And Art the Clown from Terrifier, David Howard Thornton.
They also had to make a mold of my face while I was there, so that was kind of claustrophobic in itself.
Musician Dan Simons of Just Surrender.
First time ever going out on a tour, you remember every stop.
And Nick Thompson of Hit the Lights.
All the stuff that I think that people go through life, and it's just like my outlet for that.
Watch the video version of American Slacker on our YouTube channel and listen to our show on your favorite podcast app.
New episodes every Wednesday. Visit our website, aspodcast.com, for everything American Slacker.
That's it.
There you go.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, you could do us a favor. Join the Jock and Nerd fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd, where you can support the show on a monthly or annual basis, and you get stuff like access to an exclusive podcast feed where the shows come out early. There's bonus content, instant reactions to the movie we're about to review went up this week, post shows. There's Discord benefits. We do a monthly Discord hangout. This month it's next week, June 23rd. Thursday, June 23rd, 8 p.m. Central Time. Hope to see you there. And you can pick any movie for us to review and watch and force us. And we got a bunch of those we're going to get to. When things slow down with all the shit they're releasing, we will fill with some Patreon picks.
Yeah, wait for a dry spot.
Oh, my God. I don't know if there's one coming. All the COVID delayed stuff is now just getting dumped 1 week after another. But
I know, I'm having trouble keeping up.
Me too. But in the meantime, you can join the fan club. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, let's get to the movie review this week. It is Jurassic World Dominion. Here's your spoilers.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Prepare to be spoiled!
That's what I should have done when the movie started, but I didn't. This is the third Jurassic World movie and the sixth and alleged final entry into the Jurassic franchise overall on Rotten Tomatoes. Currently holding a solid 30%.
Oh, shit.
On the tomato meter, 4.9 out of 10. Audience thinks it's 79% good. This movie was made for a budget of $165 million. And it had to go up against like Top Gun Maverick in its like fifth week. Top Gun had been still killing. But this thing opens at number one. It makes $145 million opening weekend. Domestically, currently sitting worldwide at $392 million, which is kind of surprising, but not really. These movies always make a lot of money because there's dinosaurs involved. This one directed by Colin Trevorrow, who had directed the first one, Jurassic World. He did not direct the second one. That was J.A. Bayona. But he has written or co-written on each of these 3 movies. And then we'll get into the cast, because you have the cast of the Jurassic World, Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and then the returning cast from the originals, Laura Dern, Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum. They're joined by some new people we'll talk about when we get to them. Anthony, what happens in Jurassic World Dominion?
Well, if you think you're getting a movie about dinosaurs being amongst us and us dealing with that, that's not what you're getting.
Lame.
This movie's mostly contained to a secret facility in, I don't know where the hell that is.
The Alps.
Italian Alps.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. It's in the Alps, and there's a secret containment facility, and this evil corporation is doing things with dinosaurs, and they inadvertently might have caused a plague with locusts, and they need to capture a clone plus Blue's baby named Beta, because they need to do nefarious things and solve the brink of the world going on collapsing because of a worldwide food shortage because of locusts. And are you confused yet? Because that's this plot.
That is messy as fuck. Yes, but that is exactly what the movie's
and the
about.
old crew and the new crew come back because reasons.
Because they wrote it that way, essentially. Before we get into our thoughts, Ruggs, how was your theater experience going to see this movie?
Why do you ask that?
I don't know. I just said, you have good stories sometimes.
Little birdie said.
Yeah.
I hate going to movies now. I do. Why can't I just sit down and watch a movie without some annoying fucking person? So, I usually pay extra to go to like the fancy dancy, Dolby surround sound theater that like usually, since you have to spring an extra like $10 for the seat, like it thins out the herd of stupid people. But, this time I was like, you know what? I want to go at a certain time, and the only show I can get is at the regular theater with regular people. And boy, did I make a mistake, because I got there and I'm like, hey, there's nobody in here. Awesome. Then like, as soon as the movie starts, like earnestly, people start pouring in because everybody's got their seats and they have to wait till the last fucking second when shit's actually starting to go on. So I get this couple that sits in front of me. It's like a 40-something-year-old couple. Woman immediately, phone full brightness on her phone, just flipping through Facebook as the movie's starting. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's not previews. It's the actual movie.
No, it's the fucking movie is starting.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. I'm waiting, and it just seems like an eternity. And finally, like, she turns around and she looks at me, and I'm like, give her like the look of death, like, and move my hands, like, what are you doing? And she turns around, and then she's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to stop, put my phone away. And she puts the phone away. And then all of a sudden she takes out this bag full of fucking food, and she's handing it to the guy, and it's making tons of noises. Things are opening and closing, and the lid is falling on the floor. Then the cap of whatever, it falls on the floor. And I'm just like, Christ. And I get up, I'm like, God damn it. And I saw that there was a seat, like 2 seats down.
Oh, you
and I'm
moved.
Like, I moved like visibly, like angrily, and sat down like 2 rows, 3 rows ahead.
Did you make noises? Did you like grunt? You're just like, rabbit.
Yeah, I made like some kind of like angry curmudgeon-y noises. And then I sat down and I was like, all right, finally, there's nobody in front of me. Fuck those people behind me. They suck.
Fuck
and
that show.
All of a sudden, I'm like, all right, the movie's starting. We're about 5 minutes in. Maybe all the assholes are not coming in. So I'm literally sitting in an empty row. Like there's nobody in the row but me. And all of a sudden a guy, now this movie was like started at 9:00. A guy brought 4 kids, young kids to this movie.
In your row.
In my row. And I'm like, they should be in bed by now, these assholes. Anyhow, they're running the whole time. They have to go to the bathroom every 2 seconds. They're dropping fucking Reese's Pieces everywhere. And I literally was like, I'm like, I can't pay attention to the first 20 minutes of this movie because this is what's happening. But finally, I don't know, I'm able to tune them out and watch the movie. And then now we can talk about the review.
Here's Rex.
Why are you putting people through this?
Was that entertaining for you? Did you hear that?
That was more entertaining than the fucking movie. I'll tell you that much. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I live for those stories. Okay, so what did you think of the movie? Who wants to go? Let's go back to Anthony. Well, Anthony, well, how you feeling coming out of this?
This movie's trash.
Oh, shit.
This movie's not good. It's not good. It's
How bored were you watching?
I was just gonna say the worst part of this movie is the fact not that things happen because it's written that way and the plot makes no sense and they don't build up to anything, and we're at the point now where they don't promise, they don't deliver on the premise, which was dinosaurs amongst us. We are now dealing with, we're in the 6th Jurassic Park movie where we're now dealing with a clone who's actually the Immaculate Conception, and we need to get her blood because there's a locust problem. Like, what are we talking about here? But it's not even that. It's the fact that this movie's so fucking boring. It's 2.5 hours.
So long.
It probably could have needed an hour to be cut out of it.
It's so tedious, and like
Yeah,
there's
it's just
nothing
boring.
nothing in this movie works.
No,
Like,
no.
why is this pilot throwing in and going on this adventure?
No,
They never say her name once. Did you notice?
No.
I was like, what's her fucking name?
Why is this pilot? Why bring on the old cast back, but then like give them nothing cool or fun to do? Why throw them? Sean Chandler said this, but he's like, why take Alan Grant's character, who everyone loves? That guy's an outdoorsy guy, and now you throw him in a situation where he's doing like spy shit, and it's like, this doesn't make any sense for this character to even be involved in like being undercover trying to be a spy.
It was
to get
because of
locust
Ellie.
blood.
He still loves Ellie Sattler. I don't know.
She doesn't need to be there.
No, that their plot is completely unrelated to anything.
She's a I believe what her role is in the first film is she is a like prehistoric botanist.
Yeah, she's a paleontologist or whatever.
No,
right?
no. Like,
oh,
but
she's a botanist, prehistoric
a botanist.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
she's involved in plants.
Old dead
Well,
plants.
they call her because the locusts are eating the plants, I guess, right?
Yeah, but why would you call her? Why would you call her?
I don't know. I'm trying to,
And why
make
is the movie
connections
about
here.
fucking locusts? What is going on here? It's not even about dinosaurs. The best shit was the bookend shit where the news tells you that dinosaurs are running amok and he's like he's horseback riding. But that stuff at the beginning and the end, that was the movie I wanted to see. That's the movie I thought we were going to see.
No.
And you see it in clips. That preview they put out, that 5-minute preview of that T-Rex going through the trailer park and the drive-in I thought that was great. That should have been the movie, and that's way better than this movie.
Yeah, this movie was not what I thought it was going to be. I was like, what is this movie? Like, I feel like I missed something.
Well, was there anything good? I can say a few minor good things about this.
All right,
movie.
go ahead.
I thought when the dinos were on the screen and there was chase scenes, like, it was kind of thrilling. Like the Malta bike scene, although it makes no sense why, like, they can outrun them and they can't catch up, but then they're on bikes and they still can't catch up. Like, I don't understand what's going on. But that scene was thrilling. When they eventually, the whole cast gets together in like the last 30 minutes of the movie, some of that one scene where she's climbing up the ladder and they're trying to get that, some of that was good. I love seeing the gang back together. They had shit all to do. The clone girl gets a little bit of depth, but again, it's a ridiculous story to begin with. And I actually like the pilot lady. I wish they introduced her in another movie. They never said
I feel
her
like
name.
that there was no reason. They had to have a better reason for her to be part of
It's just to get from point A to point B is they have her. And BD Wong finally gets a little redemption, even though he's really the main villain of all these. It's all his fault, everything that's happening.
Why? There's so many whys I can ask, but why is there a giant locust swarm? What did they create that for to release?
Biosyn wanted to protect their crops, and they didn't want. They wanted to control the food environment, the food system, but they risk killing all the crops.
So
also,
so how do the locusts recognize
I
a
have
crop
no
from another
idea.
crop? And then this goes back to the point about Ellie Sattler's character being in this. So they call her because of that, right? But if the farmers could literally go, hey, these fucking locusts are eating the crops that are not biosyn crops.
Right.
Wouldn't
Isn't that the
a
evidence?
newspaper or something get a hold of that and be like, wait a minute, all the crops that are being eaten around the world, they don't have bias. This must be some sort of corporate thing.
No, she's got to go and get evidence.
No,
It's
but
ridiculous.
like they would.
Yeah.
This would be all over the news.
Yeah, it's obvious.
They don't need to
People
call
were
her.
starving.
They're
Yeah,
eating
people would
this,
fucking start motivating.
and they're not eating this. It's
And
pretty
they
obvious.
call her, so she gets called in, and her bright idea is like, "Hey, Ellen Grant, they're not going to believe me if I steal this blood, but if you steal it with me, they're going to believe me now."
And then, like, they shoehorn Ian Malcolm, who's like working over there, and he's giving a speech.
Why would he be working
Why
there?
would he be working there? And even the name, like, Biosyn is the new InGen, but like the name Biosyn, like SIN, like it's just so fucking lazy.
There's no way he would work there.
No.
He's been so anti-dinosaur.
I mean, unless they paid him a lot, but even though he's been anti all of this. Why would he be
the
working
thing
there?
that I don't get is like, okay, so this guy has this dastardly plot of like, I'm going to release these locusts and it's going to make me even more rich because no one else's crops are going to survive and mine do. But then like it cascades out of his control and he's just like, it's going to, we'll die. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, nobody eats. Like, we're all. And,
Right.
and this guy's snacking the whole fucking movie.
Oh yeah, he is, isn't he?
He's constantly eating. I'm like, I think he would care about
He was
food.
just a lame, like Steve Jobs fucking type person. It was so bad.
Yeah.
His death was bad.
Yeah.
No, I mean they're doing the whole thing again where it's like the corporation, like the whole premise of Jurassic World is like these corporations thinks they can play God,
Right.
and they're getting out of control and they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and they're doing that again, and it's just like, but I thought we were getting dinosaurs.
This almost
in
makes the
world.
last one look better.
Oh, we'll
yeah.
get to that when we rank them. But at least they're not on an island, right? They got away from the island. But yeah, every movie there's a rescue and then there's corporate greed involved. Like every fucking movie is the same fucking movie.
Well, there's just not a lot of, like, I was thinking about like why was I bored throughout this movie, and it was like, one, it's stupid. 2, it doesn't make sense. But then 3, like, there's not really, like, I don't really know what we're building towards. Like, I don't really care about this villain. Like, his plot makes no sense. We're focusing on the locust, which is like just an absurdly bad idea in a movie about
Why?
dinosaurs. Like, everyone wants to see dinosaur action. Instead, we're dealing with locusts. So, like, at least like Jurassic World, which I don't think is a great film, but is 1,000 times better than this. Is like, that film was, these scientists like made Jurassic Park. They did the stupid thing again, and they started inventing dinosaurs. And there's this dinosaur that's on the rampage that is a fucking mutant monster. Like, at least like, okay, now it's a kaiju movie.
Yeah.
But this one, there's like, so who is the villain? And what? Like, they try to make it the Giganotosaurus.
Yeah.
But the Giganotosaurus is like introduced in like the 3rd act. I don't really feel like that's a villainy type monster. It's just a monster. And then they try to recreate the Jurassic World where it's T-Rex versus the Indominus Rex, but they do it this time with the T-Rex and the Giganotosaurus.
Right.
I'm like, there's no build to this fight. I like me some good kaiju action, but there's no build to this fight. They're just there to fight.
Yeah.
The setup doesn't even make sense.
It's cold. The whole thing was
It's just
cold.
a cold thing. It's like they got all the stuff. They can leave, but now we just have this fight because, well, we need a fight.
And then they throw in that other dino that had the claws that was kind of cool, and then he shows up out of nowhere, and they team up, and all of it is like
Weapon X one.
Yeah, what was that?
Weapon
There
X
was new dinos, but they didn't really.
Thenzenosaurus, I think.
Yeah,
was his name.
and it's just none of it. Like, I went into this movie specifically turning my brain off. I'm like, I'm gonna go enjoy a dumb movie, and it still did nothing for me.
So
Did nothing.
this is what the deal was with Jurassic Park. So the first one, you get to see dinosaurs, and you never got to see them that way, and you're like, cool, and you're like, well, okay, after you see the dinosaurs, like, what's there to do? Well, we got a shitload of other dinosaurs that we never got to, and now you get to see them in the second movie. You got Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
So I think the function of a Jurassic Park movie is to like keep it interesting with these new dinosaurs that they keep discovering, and now you got ones with feathers, that ones that swim in the water, like all of these different ones. There's furry ones with Wolverine claws. So I think that's like the one like pillar that Jurassic Park as a franchise has. And you got a little bit of a horror thing you can do. And I think the best part of the horror part of the movie is when they were in the tunnels
Right.
and those fucking things were getting at them, and then it felt like, oh, there was a sense of peril there.
Right.
But then they just saddle it with all this mediocrity and just this banal fucking stupid shit and like tropey, like predictable and nonsensical like characters being put together for no apparent reason.
Like that bit where she was under the water and hiding, like that was kind of cool, but it was short, and then that was it. And
it was really like weird, that whole scene.
And
that scene was strange. I was like, how the hell does this dinosaur not see her?
Yeah, she's right there. She's under the water. Just stick your head in. Just put your head down. She's right there. Bite her head off. Come on.
Well, the thing about like we're so far away, and I know things evolve, but we're so far away from Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is an all-time movie, and it's a very simple premise.
Yep.
Dinosaurs are created. These guys get stuck in the park. Shit goes sideways. They got to get out.
Yeah.
Like, it's very easy, right? You understand what's going on. You're like, oh, the wonder of dinosaurs. And what's awesome about it is it flips, and you go, oh my God, dinosaurs are fucking monsters, right? Like, that's the bad, that's the evil of playing God. But then in this, like, now we're at the 6th movie, and I can reiterate, but we literally are at the point where we have a fucking clone that is now the Immaculate Conception, and her blood is the key to curing the locust problem in the world.
Nothing about dinosaurs.
Like, what are we doing here?
And that whole scientific thing is like, they're using her blood to kill the locusts.
Yeah,
they don't die in a generation. So how is her blood supposed to do that? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and how the scientist is like, your mom like created you, like she figured it out.
That's weird.
It's like, this is like the Iron Man 2 thing where it's like, wait, how did your mom know that like the thing she solved years ago would actually be the thing that saves the world for something you could have never predicted?
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
This movie didn't even know what its plot was because they start the movie 3 times.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so if this movie's about locusts eating up the food supply, that's what they should have opened
But
with.
it's also a fucking rescue mission because the girl gets kidnapped very easily. By the way, why would you give her a bike if you're trying to keep her at home? Don't give her a fucking bicycle. What are you doing? I thought you were watching her. And they just snatch her up like it was no problem.
They just make her into a thingamabob. They make her into one of those.
She's kind of a MacGuffin, her whole character.
Yeah, but listen, the plot can be much simpler.
Yes,
it literally can just be them capturing Blue, and then you could also do, if you want them to capture the girl, and that's like the storyline, right? Like,
yes,
the storyline. They want to involve all these characters, but it doesn't really make sense. So they have to capture the girl. Okay, that would get Owen in, but to add in all this other stuff and like the corporate espionage and all that shit, it's just like, I love seeing the old characters, but these old characters really have nothing substantial to do in this movie.
No, they don't.
Was it bad that they were doing mutants and now they just disregarded them altogether? They're like, we don't do that anymore. They even say it in the movie. We don't do mutants.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was there like a backlash because they made mutants? But I thought that like those were the things that people really liked. They liked the Indominus Rex and there's another one.
Indoraptor.
Indoraptor.
Well, I think they get rid of the mutants because of how badly that turned out in the first 2 films, or these last 2. But yeah, I mean, none of it really. It doesn't really make sense. There's a lot of stuff that is fun as scenes on their own.
Yes.
Like it's cool to see dinosaurs chasing Owen on a bike in, I think that's like Italy
Malta.
or somewhere.
That was in
Malta.
Malta.
There you go. So that's a cool scene on its own, but doesn't really make sense in the context of the film. Like, why is Owen there? Well, Owen's there because
they took the clone girl there.
No, they took the clone girl there, but the only reason he knows about that is because he got to sit in on a CIA mission.
Oh, right.
Oh, how did he get to sit in on a CIA mission? Well, his friend from the last movie who worked for Jurassic World, they just recruited that guy to CIA. Oh wait, what? Okay, now they're in because you worked with dinosaurs, that's a qualification to be in the CIA? And then they're going to let Owen, some fucking guy that trained raptors, to sit in on the CIA? Like, what?
And evidently, if you hold your hand up to a dinosaur, that's
oh my
all you
God,
need to
how
do.
many times does that? What does that do? Everybody thinks they can just hold their hand up and they just stop, and they did the whole. But the whole laser guided idea didn't make any sense either because once
the movie even makes fun of it
does.
Jeff Goldblum literally goes, "You made a promise to a dinosaur."
Yes,
you made a promise to a dinosaur, and you're like sitting there, you're like, yeah. And the worst part about this whole like dinosaur thing is the one dinosaur they gave personality to, Blue, they sidelined
I know,
her throughout
you
the
don't see
entire
her.
movie.
She just goes away, fucks off into the woods until he brings the kid back.
You literally have all these stupid things that are written into the plot. You couldn't write one more stupid thing for just Blue to show up.
The worst way to incorporate the old.
If you're going to do a lot of stupid shit, at least include like the one dinosaur that they've given personality to besides the T-Rex.
Barely anybody got eaten. One dude. I was very upset at that. That's not. You got to have a high death count. So I rewatched Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 yesterday because I was like, let me watch these again. Those are pretty fun movies. They both have simple, kind of straightforward plots, right? It's not convoluted. There are memorable scenes in both of them that you remember, and they do have a feeling of like a kaiju movie. And the scares are good, and they're both not bad. I'll be honest. I was like, these were fun. It was fun. You know, you have Ian Malcolm, you got Jeff Goldblum in the second one as the lead, and he's great. And then they just bring back Alan Grant, a little bit of Laura Dern in the third one. And they're not bad movies. They're not bad. They're both like rescue movies. The second one, not so much. The third one is
passable.
But it's simple.
Lost World is just in comparison to Jurassic Park, just a very disappointing movie.
Still Steven Spielberg though. Like it's not,
still Steven, but yeah, exactly. So that makes it
that's crazy.
That's why it makes it disappointing.
Yeah.
Is you got all this talent there, and it actually it's not what everyone thought they were going to get.
Yeah.
It's actually much more of a darker movie.
Yeah.
And then Jurassic Park 3 is fun, but it's also kind of a mess.
But
it's a very short film. It ends very abruptly.
It's a tight 90 minutes, right? And I was like, I'm not mad at that, but there's some the second one, I love the whole trailer over the edge with the glass breaking.
Oh, that's amazing.
That shit is great. And then the third one, like the pterodactyls when they're inside, that shit's pretty cool.
That's not a bad movie.
It's not bad. You know, the second one has the whole last act in San Diego, which is that canon? Does anybody remember that happened? Also, in the second one, the pterodactyls leave the island. They're just free. Or that was the third one. Like, the third one. Yeah. Nobody ever mentioned that shit. Did any of that shit happen? I don't know. I don't think the people know.
No. I mean, the writers write things because they thought of like about 5 to 6 cool ideas or visuals, and then they were like, how do we get there? And then they just wrote.
Those two movies have great human cannon fodder. The second one, lots of fucking kills, lots of deaths. It was fantastic. People get eaten left and right. And this one, it's got none of that. It's not even about dinosaurs. It's a disappointing end to a franchise if this is how it goes down.
There's just no stakes, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got all the old characters in a car. The car, they take all the tension out of the scene. The car's teetering on the edge. They make a joke. They slide over. The car still falls over, all over the edge. And it falls over the edge, like it tumbles like 17 times.
And they're fine. Everybody's fine.
And it just happens to land where the new characters are.
Oh yeah.
And they all just walk out of the car.
They're like, hey.
And they're like, hey,
hi.
You guys are from the new films. We're the old guys. No scratches or anything. Whereas like the first film, when the T-Rex is biting at the car with the kids in it, like the kids are bruised up. They're beating the fuck up. Like you can feel, you're almost like, oh my God, these kids are going to get eaten alive. And in this film, it's like, we can just roll a car down a mountain. And it's like Commando.
Yeah.
When Schwarzenegger drives his car with no brakes down a mountain.
It's just going to land perfectly at the bottom.
If I want to watch Commando, I'll watch Commando. This movie literally was, when I was watching it, I went, they fucking Fast and Furious this shit.
But it's not even that interesting as Fast. It's like worse than, I would at least like a Fast and Furious, like, because at least that's some kind of dumb popcorn fun.
But this is the same studio.
Oh, it is the same studio. There's a scene, right, where Alan Grant falls off a ladder and hits his head. You see it. And then he just gets up. He's fine. No problem. This man is 70 years old. That would have fucking killed him. No, he's fine. Okay.
He's 70? Wow.
I don't know.
There's no
70.
stakes. There's no stakes. I mean, you have the scene where the dinosaur is chasing them in the sewer or whatever the hell that is. And Jeff Goldblum's character shows up in the nick of time. But he's trying to get them out, but as he's trying to get them out, he's like, I like Jeff Goldblum, don't get me wrong, but he's making jokes about how the possibilities, like, 10,000 possibilities. I don't know. Let's try the birth date of Huey Lewis or whatever he says.
Yes.
It's like, what the fuck? There's no stakes here. No one's dying. No main characters are dying.
He has great lines in the second one where he's like, "Mommy is very angry." Like, that's a great line. And then at one point when they're climbing the rope, he's like, "Increase your rate of ascension." He's telling him to climb faster. But no, you don't care. You don't care. And I barely cared about Owen and Claire to begin with from the first one.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah. And yeah. Okay, let's rate and rank the movie. Anthony, give me a number. Where do you put this?
The number I had in my mind was a 4 out of 10.
Shit. Okay. Yeah.
As far as where I would rank it, I remember not liking Fallen Kingdom that much either, which was the last film we just watched.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think there are things about Fallen Kingdom that are kind of fun. Like it's the first half of the movie is a disaster movie, and then it switches
to like a horror
on a dime.
Horror movie.
To a haunted house movie.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of insane.
Yeah.
And that's an insane thing that they do. They introduced a clone, which is an awful idea, which this movie has to now write its way out of.
Yeah.
But I feel like this movie, I've just never been more bored during a Jurassic Park movie than sitting in this one. And I never do this. I've never pull out my phone during a movie in a movie theater. I pulled out my phone.
Oh shit!
Checked how long the runtime was. I had to like gasp that I was in like the movie for about an hour and 45, and I still had another 45 minutes left.
Yeah.
I think I even responded to like 4 text messages.
Oh, jeez.
So like I was sitting in the corner, by the way. I wasn't a complete
You're
idiot.
not that asshole. Okay.
Yeah, I was in the corner and I was like pacing the phone towards me, but I was like, if I have to do this during a movie, this is garbage. So yeah, it's got to be last. I've never been that bored in a Jurassic Park movie.
All right. Where would you put the other ones?
Well, okay. I mean, Jurassic Park 1, I think, is the best.
Well, 1 is a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, obviously that's the one.
Start at 2. Yeah.
I think Lost World. I think Jurassic World is a lot of fun. Then I would go Jurassic Park 3, and then Fallen Kingdom, and then this.
Okay.
I think there's an argument that Jurassic World could be 2, just because dumbass movie, but kind of reinvigorated the franchise, and I freaking love seeing a T-Rex and a Velociraptor fight a mutant dinosaur. That's fucking awesome.
They kind of Force Awakened it, right? It's like kind of the same as the first one.
A little nostalgia, but then also like we're just going to... That one that is actually like they're Fast and Furious, where they're like, we're making a mutant dinosaur.
Yes. Okay. And a 4. Okay, Ruggs, where we'll give you a number. Where do you put this?
I think it's in the same order as Anthony. I think I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.5, and I would put it's at the bottom, because at least in Fallen Kingdom, like, I like Jay Bayona's directing a lot in that movie, despite the fucking stupid script, right? That shot where the island is going down and you see the Brontosaurus.
That's a sad shot, man. It's good.
It's memorable, right? There's nothing memorable in this last fucking shitty movie. Even bringing back Jeff Goldblum couldn't save it. And then, I would go 3 and 2 are kind of tied, and then Jurassic World. And
all I gotta say, besides the fall of this franchise, is definitely the fall of Colin Trevorrow's career.
Oh my God.
We went from Jurassic World, which everyone was like, oh, this is good. Like, he did something here. Let's give him the keys to Star Wars. Let's give him the key to Jurassic Park. And then you just realize that, like, over time, this guy cannot write his way out of a paper
He
bag.
shouldn't have wrote them. He could have directed them, but they shouldn't have let them write the fucking 3 movies.
Yeah, they don't.
That was a problem.
That, and I mean, he lost the job to Star Wars. Rise. This guy can clearly just like struck lightning in the bow with Jurassic World, but he not a good writer.
I think we dodged the bullet with the Star Wars there.
I forgot to mention Camp Cretaceous is probably the 3rd best.
Jurassic was there any
Park
tie-ins
franchise.
to that in this? You watch? I have not watched that.
No, I mean, the thing about Camp Cretaceous is it takes place on the old theme parks.
Isla Nublar?
They go there, and then shit goes down and everybody leaves. but they're left behind. Like, so it's almost like it's Jurassic World when everybody flees the island, but they get stuck on the island.
Stuck and they got to survive.
And then it's all about their survival and trying to get out of this island.
Just like the kid in the third movie. I totally forgot that kid that's what that was.
Like one of them makes friends with an ankylosaurus and they become buddies and they fucking help each other fight dinosaurs. And then they find another island that some rich asshole is making dinosaurs fight each other and streaming it live. And they have like it's good. I mean, it's more interesting than this. It's better than Locusts.
Trevorrow is a producer on that, and Sam Neill 66, not 70. I looked.
Also, did you guys catch? You blink and you miss it, but the evil villain at the end has the shaving cream bottle from the first one.
Oh, that Wayne Knight had, that Newman had.
Did you catch the Godzilla thing?
Well, also the original like T-Rexes are at the very end.
That's the original T-Rex. What's the Godzilla thing, Ruggs?
At one point, the Giganotosaurus eats the flaming locust and it's like breathes fire.
Oh yeah, he does do that.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, when the locusts were on fire, I was like, that's kind of interesting. But like, why is it about locusts?
That is the original T-Rex, which is nice, I guess.
Yeah,
he's also the original in the last couple. I mean, the original was in the last two as well.
Right.
Sean Chandler pointed this out, which I thought was like kind of wild. Apparently, the villain in this
he was mentioned in the first one, or he is in the
first
Louis
one, or either he's either in the first one or he's mentioned.
Yeah,
but the guy that's buying that shaving cream can either mentions him or is him.
Oh shit!
And that's why that kind of explains why, even though they only released like 7 dinosaurs in the last film,
right?
There's a proliferation of dinosaurs because he's always had that shaving cream with the DNA.
Oh, so
and was able to create a bunch of dinosaurs. But it's one of those blink and you miss it type things.
And he didn't care. The guy just didn't care.
He gets a death like the guy got in the first one.
Right, with those Dilophosaurus or whatever those things were, the spitters.
Right. But it's not like as done
just,
as well.
no.
It just kind of happens, and you're like, oh, the
But when
Dilophosaurus
you've
is
seen
there.
it before so many times, it's like it loses its luster.
Is seeing dino like so? You know, they did some practical effects and a lot of CGI, and like the first movie, seeing it for the first time, it was amazing. But like, you can't recreate that wonder anymore when the CGI gets better, and the dinos look great, but like it almost doesn't it doesn't do anything for me anymore.
Yeah, that's why you need a real story and plot.
Yeah, that would help.
You can't just rely on the dinosaurs.
Which is what they did, but there wasn't even a lot of dinosaurs in this.
It was more like a theme park ride than an actual movie, and a really, really long, boring one at that. You know, just because like there was a horror moment, but like I think Jurassic Park, the first one, had so many horror moments, and we kept you on the edge of your seat. It was thrilling, and you kind of start to know like no one's gonna die, the main cast not gonna die, the stakes aren't there. So you're even subliminally knowing this, it becomes boring because it's like you know what's going to happen, you know exactly how it's going to turn out, and
every movie's just done kind of the same shit over and over again.
They should have one Jurassic Park where everyone dies.
Well, I wanted one where the dinosaurs ruled the earth and they were just fucking taking over. That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, how about give us what you sold us, which is that.
That's what's supposed to happen. All right.
Another time where something like Godzilla versus Kong that he was so stupid, but at least it was entertaining.
Yes.
Right.
And like that's all you really need to do with Jurassic Park. Just be entertaining.
Just why are you overcomplicating things? They were simple stories and they worked. And
why make it 2.5 hours?
It was so fucking long. It did not need to be.
No.
All right, let's get some comments from the nation. What they think about the movie? It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Oh, did you hurt yourself?
Yeah.
Get some Vaseline on there. It'll be fine.
Jesus.
Some butter. Jamie Robinson, Mr. Throwback Thursday, from the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast, says, went to a double feature, the OG Jurassic Park and this abortion. Story sucks so much ass. Chris Pratt with the dinosaur hypnotism that apparently everyone can do now got so boring. Also, how in one scene can they outrun laser-guided attack dinosaur on foot but barely keep their distance from the same dino on a motorcycle? I rate this movie 12 buckets of smashed assholes. I rank this movie just above Thor Dark World only because of the giant dino triple threat match in the third act, which was like 2 seconds long.
So short.
And
so short and no build.
No, I did like the line where he's like, this isn't about us. And then they just fucking got the fuck out of the way.
Right, they're determining who the alpha.
Yeah.
Also, like, how the hell are they able to fit all those dinosaurs in that space?
In the valley,
like,
in the Alps, in that little facility?
No.
Yeah.
In that facility, when they, like, call the dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wouldn't just all the dinosaurs start fucking killing each other being in that space?
Well, there's a lot of herbivores. They don't eat meat. Yeah, no, that's a good point. And they were trying to save them.
I mean, don't think about it too much, but what the fuck?
Jess Rivera said the story was absolute dog poop, but watched it in Dolby Digital with the extra large screen and sound system, and it was fun. A lot of dino action, and get the original trio back for some senior citizen action. I was screaming at the motorcycle scene like they would fall and then boom, catch right back up. They lose sight and there's no laser, but boom, right back on target, even amongst the crowd. Around every corner, there's a dino waiting to snack on someone. Popcorn movie, hopefully it's the last of the series. Yeah, they just end it. It's fine. If you can't capture the
Let
wonder,
it die.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
It's sad. But there was
apparently the books are good too.
It's gonna make money, but I think it's gonna drop off a lot.
It did well. It's open. I think it weighed like 140.
145. 145.
Let like 15 years pass where we've discovered more about dinosaurs, and then we need a movie like this to explain dinosaurs.
So they had feathered dinos. That was the new discovery added, but whatever. They were feathers. I did like the slasher dino with the big claws. I wanted more of him.
The vegetarian.
Benzinosaurus, I think.
But why would a herbivore need those fucking razor sharp Wolverine claws? What's he killing?
I think it was digging with those claws.
Oh, that's
what I would assume.
Those things are fucking
like
crazy.
A sloth has a big, or an anteater.
Yeah,
don't they have big claws?
Yeah, I guess they do to hang from and stuff.
Well, and to claw into the dark ground and get bugs and shit.
I mean, the scene where it attacks the plane, that was kind of cool, and then I don't know, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, there's cool. I mean, I'll give it credit, and there's like cool little scenes. Like there's a nice shot when the raptor is in the plane and the motorcycle knocks the raptor out of the plane.
That was kind of cool. Yeah,
and they do like a follow.
Yeah,
there was some nice shots like that, and they do some decent stuff. I mean, the shot with the Giganotosaurus grabbing the cage and while they're in there, while the kids are climbing up, like those are fine.
But like, there's nothing as memorable. Like all the other movies have at least like one memorable thing, right? That kind of
this doesn't have that.
This has none of that. This is like what you had the potential, you had the ingredients, and you make it about locusts.
I think that it tires you out so much you can't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're just like, all right,
it spins
so
its
the
wheels.
pacing and it's going nowhere.
Boo. Woof. All right, let's finish up with some what are we watching? Anthony, you been watching anything?
So I've got a couple things.
Oh.
First off, NBA playoffs, which you guys don't care about, but I'm watching that. Then I've watched Obi-Wan episode 4.
Okay.
The Boys episode 4.
Nice.
Rewatched. I'm still on my 80s tour. I rewatched RoboCop from 1987.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, nice.
And I watched Action Jackson.
Oh, you watched the Action Jackson with Carl Weathers.
All I have to say about Action Jackson is fucking awesome.
Isn't it great?
I'm gonna have to rewatch that.
The women in that movie are in their prime.
Yeah,
it's a shame Carl Weathers wasn't a bigger action star, but I kind of get it because at this point he's coming along and he's just doing the same bits that everyone else is doing. He just black.
Could he have made it into? Because he was cut like a Predator.
He was jacked.
He was jacked.
He's jacked. He's perfectly fine. It's a Joel Silver film.
There you go.
Tons of cocaine everywhere. I mean, it's so stupid. It's not a good film, but it's so good.
You're watching it with a smile on your face.
I went into it with low expectations. I was like, this movie's gonna suck.
I wouldn't steer you wrong, Anthony.
The women, Vanity and Sharon
Stone. Yes, 1988 Sharon Stone.
Both of them with their tops. I mean,
nice.
Just an immaculate film.
I'm gonna have to go
it's
rewatch
gonna have
this.
to be in.
It goes a long way,
It's in
and
the
you had a great
tournament.
bad guy too. The bad guy, was
the great bad guy, the guy from
Coach.
Oh, Craig T. Nelson is the bad guy. That's right.
Yeah.
Bill Duke. You got the late great Bill Duke in here too.
Bill Duke is in it. Al Young is in it.
Oh, Al Young is in every movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's in this
Okay,
one
so
too.
here's the criteria. If Al Young is in the movie, it goes in the tournament.
Oh yeah. No, Action Jackson is. I'll make a strong case for Action Jackson.
You got to watch either Rapid Fire or Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Oh, those
next,
are-
but
oh,
Rapid
those are both
Fire.
good.
Well,
Al Young is in both of those.
The Rapid Fire is in 90, so I got to stay in the 80s for now. But I will,
Oh, you're right.
I will say, and this might make you very happy. I think I've gotten around to where I think I can tolerate the Highlander, and I might throw that
Oh,
on.
we're getting him up to the Highlander.
I don't know if Anthony can make it through Highlander, but if he does, if he comes out of Highlander like with it amusing him, even though he thinks it's a shitty movie, I'll be happy.
All right.
Very pleasantly surprised by Action Jackson. RoboCop is still a classic.
RoboCop still holds up.
Like I knew that Action Jackson would hit it because it has that like 80s action vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has like all of the excess of the 80s, all of like indulgence of like fucking cocaine dudes in a room. Highlander's not as cocaine fueled, but it's just an absurd movie that's interesting to me. But yeah, give it a rip.
I
that
will.
and Conan the Barbarian, you got to watch.
Oh, the Conan movies.
The thing I didn't know about Action Jackson until after I'd finished, and I was like, "Oh, this makes sense." And I mentioned it earlier, is it still looks good because Joel Silver is part of it, right? Like I was expecting this like really bad B movie because the reviews are not great.
Yeah,
but then you watch it and you go, "Oh, like this had his power behind it." So like he's throwing all the A-list 80s stuff in it. It just happens to not be, remembered as a great film because
directed this. Craig Baxley directed this.
But think about this: they made a black dude like front and center in an Arnold Schwarzenegger like movie, like a movie that like Stallone would have been in.
That
or
is
fucking
progressive for 1988.
Yeah, but no one went to see it. That's the
Nobody
problem.
cared.
It got there's worse Arnold movies than this. There are. There's a couple of Arnold movies that can't hold a candle to this movie.
He's got all the lines too. There's one point where he's about to blow a guy with a rocket, and he goes, "How do you like your ribs?" And then he shoots him with a fucking grenade launcher in the chest.
This guy goes on to direct Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth,
and that's a fucking other crazy ass fucking movie. I have to rewatch that.
One more, two comments. I can't harp enough. The women are so attractive in this movie.
Man.
They're so.
Vanity.
I was Vanity and young Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The second thing is Sharon Stone in this year does two films that I've seen already in part of my 80s. She does this and Above the Law, and she's relegated as like a side character in both of these to like other men. And like you have, even though she's hot, she's not yet fucking.
it's not till Basic Instinct hits.
Basic Instinct. Sharon Stone. So they're like,
she's in Total Recall too.
Oh yeah, she's good in Total Recall, but
Total
she's
Recall
the wife
I think is
too,
the one that really pushes her. But
Yeah.
like this one, they like fucking kill her, and she gets killed like halfway through the film. I was real sad, and then they just do another like 80s thing where they like reveal the dead body, and it's like her naked with blood.
Oh my god!
It's like, oh my god!
You get to see some
like one more shot of her
Sharon
naked.
Stone boobies. One more time, shove it in there.
They did it. I mean, there's one scene of her in the shower naked, and then they do the reveal of her dead blood boob.
The 80s.
The 80s. They never do that. They would never do
I
that
know.
now.
No.
Never again.
You can't be doing that
Okay,
shit.
so I know Ruggs did not watch episode 4 of The Boys. I did, so let's briefly talk about this Obi-Wan episode 4. There's only 2 episodes left.
Let me just say, The Boys episode 4 I really liked.
Oh, fucking hell, that was amazing.
I don't talk about it.
I won't talk about it.
But man, the plot of that show just fucking barrels ahead. It's amazing. We'll talk about it when Ruggs catches up.
We'll talk about it more. We'll talk about when the season's over.
Yeah, when the season ends. What Ruggs, Obi-Wan episode 4. Here's the thing about this show. It looks great. The acting is great. The people are doing a great job. The writing to me is, I don't know. It's kind of questionable. He has to save. Oh, first of all,
Spoiler
if you
alert.
haven't seen episode 4. He has to save fucking Leia from being kidnapped again. Didn't we just fucking do this? But Star Wars is always about, like, we got to go to the thing and get this person. Like, that's every Star Wars movie.
Right.
But it just seems repetitive.
Well, doesn't it end, though, with him having Leia?
He has her, and now there's a tracker on her that Reva put on there. But Anthony, what'd you think of this episode?
I mean, I don't really like Star Wars, so...
You didn't turn it off.
I didn't turn it off, but I wasn't happy watching it. It looks fine. Yeah, you guys talk about it. I don't really have much an opinion on it.
Wait, I gotta share.
It doesn't piss me off like Boba Fett. So there's that. Like I've said before.
Johnny Gons on Twitter tweeted at us this. He says, "Playing catch up, fellas. Love Anthony's I don't give a shit Star Wars reviews. Best line during Anthony's Kenobi recap. I mean, I didn't turn it off. I'm sold." That's what he says. Ruggs, what'd you think? Is this show? Is it good? What is happening?
It's just not terrible. That's what's its saving grace. Well, you said it all in the beginning. The acting is fine. It looks good.
Looks fantastic.
Yeah, they have some interesting things set up, but it really doesn't like squeeze the juice out of anything. Like they kind of always I feel like they're holding back too much. Like they just gotta let fucking shit collide. Let's fucking get there. Let's go. Vader shows up here and
he's force choking people.
Yeah, he starts force choking Reva or whatever, and then immediately stops. But because she said, "Oh, by the way, I put a fucking tracker on this kid."
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting that Leia's right under Darth Vader's nose and he doesn't sense it.
She was right there. She was right there.
And I find that to be weird. But like overall, this show is is mildly disappointing, but at the same time,
they have 2 episodes left.
Still competent enough to be watchable. It's like it's a mixed bag.
It is really a mixed bag. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like I don't know how I feel. I will say Indira Varma MVP. She's a dope character. So this episode,
which one is Indira Varma?
Tala, the undercover agent who went in. Like she was great. She did the most heavy lifting.
I do have one criticism of that. She gets in. Fine, I believe that she gets in. No one. There's a dude sitting at that desk, maybe 6 feet away.
Yeah. No one stops her.
No way that motherfucker can hear her giving commands.
Oh yeah, she's
Obi-Wan.
Talking on the thing the whole time.
She's just
just sitting next to her.
Doors open now.
She's like, what are they hiding down there? Oh my god!
He wouldn't look over there and be like, "What the fuck? Who are you talking to?"
But she's killing motherfuckers to get the job done. Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, but I'm talking about that scene where she's sitting there, giving instructions.
He's correct.
Well, anyways, by the way, this episode, if you look at the ratings, this one tanked as far as Rotten Tomatoes. I think it dropped down to 50-something%.
The middle always kind of sags in these shows, right? And then they got to build back up to a thing. So hopefully they ramp this up. They got 2 episodes left. If you've played that game, Jedi Fallen Order, that Fortress Inquisitorius is one of the levels in the game. It reminded me a lot of the game. And a little bit of New Hope was they're always rescuing Leia from some fucking thing.
One question.
Yeah.
What is the significance of the fact that it's a tomb down there?
Oh, and they're in amber, which is very Jurassic Park of them to freeze things in amber.
Was Han Solo stuck in amber?
No, that was carbonite.
Oh, okay.
Carbonite. But one of those rugs was like a Jedi from Clone Wars, Tenu Sinube or something.
Right.
So they're either, I don't know if they're dead or they're frozen, or maybe some people are saying this is how they can bring back Mace Windu, Sam Jackson's character. Maybe he's in there, and they're holding them.
They're dead in there.
Are they dead? They're all dead. But why are they? Why is there a tomb? What is all that? That is weird.
It's just a trophy room. It's very sick. It's all.
Yeah. It's very Sith oriented. Yes,
I like that. That's kind of weird, right? And fucking insane to do that.
I guess. And there was a kid in there too. They had a youngling. That was dark.
Yeah.
But
that's what they were going to do to Leia. Tumor.
I guess those. I don't know. You know what? I did love that scene where it was all red, and then he just fucking lightsaber fucking comes out and slices him down. That looked great. It was shot really well. The lighting was great. I don't know what they were going to do to her. She was about to be tortured.
Still trying to figure out why Hayden Christensen's back.
Okay, here's the other thing. I don't know if he's in the suit because I also saw a photo of 2 other stunt doubles. There's one that does the action stuff and one that does the other stuff. And I'm like, Is Hayden Christensen even any part of this? Is that? I don't know.
He's probably at the end going to take his mask off.
I don't even know if he's in that suit anymore. He probably isn't because
there's no chance he's in that suit.
He's in one episode, Imran. He's in one. He's in the one at the very end, and then he's maybe in the shot of him in the makeup and in the tank.
No, we saw him in the robe in the last episode, but so I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I saw something.
What'd you see?
I watched another documentary, this time on the legendary Anthony Bourdain. It's called Roadrunner. It's on HBO Max. It basically just takes you through the life of Anthony Bourdain. I don't know if you're...
Yeah.
Are you in... that? I don't know, did that just come out or was it out for a while?
I think it's new. I don't know, but I did see that.
Did you watch it?
No.
Oh, you said you saw it. Oh, you saw that. You didn't watch it. Very melancholy thing because it's kind of being told by all of the his friends and that lost him, and they're still, you can tell that they're just all not over it. They're all really still struggling with the fact that he's not there. And David Cho starts breaking down and crying. Everybody just is upset that Anthony Bourdain is no longer with us. But
dude, he was like the Hunter S. Thompson of chefs, right? The guy who's a hell of a personality.
Yeah, he was. I kind of dug him a lot because his life changed in his mid 40s.
Oh,
he went from being a cook in a restaurant to being this fucking world renowned celebrity, walking the earth and fucking pontificating on life and fucking kind of being a rebel and not being rich. It was kind of fun to watch him kind of
do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah. And he had this kind of way about him that he was kind of really, really smart. Kind of like George Carlin.
Yeah.
Kind of like the kindred spirits, these guys who fucking hated school, but read books. And it just proves if you're well read and you kind of know about stuff, you can kind of get a real deep understanding of the world without having to go to school. All school does is suggest that you read some stuff.
Just read it. You don't gotta go to school. I did watch that Carlin documentary too. Finally, very good on HBO.
Isn't
Max.
it great?
Oh, it was really good. Also, one last thing: For All Mankind season 3 on Apple TV Plus. This is an amazing show by the creator of Battlestar Galactica, an alternate history of what if it starts season 1 in the 60s. What if the Russians landed on the moon before the U.S.? And every season has jumped up decades. So the first season was the 60s. Second season is the 80s. This third season is the 90s. And now it's a race to Mars. And Russia, once again, trying to get there before the U.S. Fucking great show. So it's one of the best science fiction shows I've ever seen. That's out. So check that out. And then lastly, Thor Love and Thunder tickets are on sale. They went on sale today as we record. Monday, June 13th. And, I would snatch them up quickly. Anthony, you bought some?
I did.
I did, too, also. And when I went to look at the Thursday night, 7 p.m. in the nice Dolby theater with the big seats, it was all fucking sold out already.
Really?
Yes. Ooh. So I got a ticket in the smaller theater that wasn't as packed, but
but I had a bad experience.
Yeah, no, I'll be fine. No, you know what? It doesn't. I can block people out. But get your tickets because I think this thing will open as big, if not bigger, than Doctor Strange, possibly.
Oh my god!
These pre-sales. Ruggs is just I can't stand it. All right, Ruggs, where can the people find you online? We're done.
You can find me online at Really Rug Boy. Come follow me. Yes, send me some shit that's funny. I like to read dumb shit.
Follow him. Follow us. You can find links at our website. At him. Reply to him. Follow us on our socials. Share the show, listener, with your geek friends, with your dinosaur-loving people. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis?
Oh, yeah.
My balls are hot.
Jock and Nerd.